Okay, everybody, welcome back to another episode of
Big Talk About Small Business.
I don't know what he's doing today. I don't know what he's on.
Got me pumped up, bro.
He's the guy's fired up, and he's drinking Coke Zero. So
Yeah.
you don't even have any caffeine in that, Eric.
No, there's caffeine in that.
Is it?
Sure.
Yeah, it's
gotta
just
be
zero.
It's got to
okay.
be something good.
That's something you just learned that, dude. Now you should try them.
Maybe I will. I can't stand artificial sweetener, though. I can't. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But anyway, yeah, it's like one molecule away from rat poison. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, it is.
Really?
Seriously. Yeah. It's almost identical in profile. That's why it tastes so good.
Yeah, it does. They hook you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Everybody likes a little rat poison.
Now, I saw this. I saw this article the other day, online, and it was a 70-year-old guy who has only consumed Coca-Cola for his entire life. He never had water.
No way.
That's what it said.
How is he
Some
still
poor-
alive?
I know, but he said the doctors keep telling him to drink water, but he's not going to. He drinks Coke. He goes, "That's shocking.
That's
I
shocking.
love it." Okay,
Is it the fully leaded, like full sugar? Does he have teeth?
I don't know.
That's
but it's so weird though. We used to, when I worked at
That
bike
seems like
shops
fake
as a
news.
kid, we used to use Coca-Cola to clean tires. Yeah, because the acid.
on it.
Before we had Armor All, we used Coke. Anyway,
Not getting a sponsor from them.
Speaking of,
don't you remember, like in science class, they would like throw teeth in it and just see how long it was before they rotted away?
yeah. Oh gosh.
It was just terrible.
Oh boy.
Anyway, that's a diversion. We've got a guest in the studio today, Garrett Peters,
Thank you for having me.
with
Excited to be here.
Duncan and Stone Paper Company.
That's it.
Sweet.
So
Always wear my hat so people know
Who
who I am.
and who you're
They have no idea what Duncan and Stone Paper Company
No,
is.
but they
see the hat.
but it's a classy name and it's a good logo.
Thank you.
It is
And,
a good logo. Agree.
I did a little reading. I mean, we like to discover our guests in the course of the show. It makes it a lot more fun and more interesting.
And more authentic. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, more
I see that.
Like our listeners.
Totally.
Yeah, authentic. I like that word.
Thank you.
It's a bit of a cliche today, but I still like it. I like almost.
Genuine. How about
I like
genuine?
everything Eric does.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks, Swag.
he's the best.
Thanks, buddy.
It's always fun being here with him, and it's going to be fun being with Garrett too. I can tell.
Yeah.
So Garrett, before you tell us a little bit about yourself and Duncan and Stone Paper Company, I looked you guys up online and I saw, was it your wife and her friend were the ones who actually started the business? What's the story with that?
Story. That's a great question, man.
But now you're the CEO.
Yeah, so a little background about me. So yeah, I got the title CEO somehow, and we'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. But so
Were they just trying to placate you and make you
basically,
feel like you're okay?
Yeah, basically. I'm sure.
You deal with all this shit.
It's a big joke. It's a big joke. Garrett,
Deal with everything that.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Well, congratulations. You're the CEO. You're like, oh, sweet. And then you're like, whoa, this is hell.
This is not a CEO job.
It's a bad job anyway. We've been
I'm
there.
gonna change my title.
We have been
After
there.
this. I'm definitely changing my
You
title.
can't please anybody, and you'll never get any positive feedback.
No, it's nothing but problems.
Okay.
All day you sleep when you wake up with them.
Yes, exactly.
So tell
The
us.
joy of running your own business. So Stephanie is my wife. We just celebrated 15 years yesterday. Congrats. 15-year anniversary.
Well, you made it
And
longer
I
than
made it-
2 of my marriages. So
Just appears.
that
So
says a lot.
Stephanie is she's the best, and she is the epitome of a dreamer, visionary, like starter. She's a real entrepreneur, and early on in our marriage, she had this vision that she wanted to figure out a way to get me out of my job to so we could do our life together and kind of,
And have a life.
and have a life.
Yeah.
Freedom.
And it was probably in about 2015 or 16, and we sat down. We had 2 young kids at the time. We have 3 boys today, and at the time she was like, what do we want our life to look like? What do we want our everyday to look like? And
I like Stephanie.
she's amazing. I wish she was here. We'll have to have her on at some point. But she was like, let's define our why, what we want our kind of life to look like.
Yep.
And then we set down a path of how do we get there? And she was really on this journey of, I want to get Garrett out of his 9-to-5 corporate
What a
job.
fantastic wife.
She's the best one.
I know. She's really looking
She
up
was like,
for him.
and she was like, I'm going to get, this is my goal. I'm going to get my, and it wasn't that I hated my job. I worked for some great companies.
Right.
Harvest Group for a really long time. I worked with, at North Star way back in the day with Clay Bell. I worked with Clay and Rick and Henry and all these guys, amazing guys. And that's part of my journey
Is that Henry Ho?
Yeah.
And Rick West, Clay Bell.
Yeah.
Amazing men. Sure. And we can get to some of how they shaped my vision for like starting my own business. But basically, back to your question, the original question, Stephanie and Sarah, her best friend, were dreaming of what could we do together. And fast forward to 2019, they started this idea of Duncan and Stone of could we create a brand that sold journals, giftable items, cards, etc. I think there's an opportunity here. Yeah. So we went we have 4 owners and 4 founders of the business. Okay. Sarah and Stephanie are kind of the front, the facing of the business and the kind of the vision of Duncan and Stone. And I came in early on and helped kind of start the business with them.
And who's the other owner, man?
His name's Garland. He has a full-time job. He's just an owner. He doesn't.
He's a financial investor.
He's kind of the investor, and kind of he helps with some strategy and stuff like that, and so, but not really involved in the business.
So what made you all want to go in that business? I mean, it just seems like that's obviously a super mature market.
Yeah. So the background is Sarah was running an Etsy business on the side. Okay. So she's a stay-at-home mom. They also have 3 kids as well. And she is running an Etsy business creating cards, invitations, like design. She's an amazing designer. She designs all our products now and still does. She was running an Etsy business at the time, and one of her items was a set of pregnancy cards that she sold.
Hold on, Garrett.
Yeah.
Mark's got to check in on his.
Oh, that's on his card.
Oh, cut me a break.
Let's pull him up. Sorry. Is he really though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am.
I love that.
I start you out.
I'm
sorry, bro.
I
won't do that again.
Don't be upset. Don't be upset.
If we buy my wife a new car, I think I'm going to take her car myself.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, why does she need a new car then? It's a nice one.
Because she likes performance.
Oh, wow.
She's
I'm sure she does.
That was good, bro.
I like
It's
that.
not fast enough for her. I'm serious. She likes to go fast. All right.
I like where this is heading.
Continue.
Okay. So
interview has.
So here's the deal.
I don't want to derail this. Go on.
No, it's fine. I got
We're
my
here to
train
talk
of
to
thought.
Garrett.
Yeah, this is fun.
We're here to talk to Garrett.
So what's funny is what's funny is Sarah was selling these items on Etsy, and she was packing up these cards at night. We were hanging out at their house as friends. They're some of our best friends, and we're like, what is going on? Like, you're hand putting together these, orders for people, and Stephanie and I are sitting here like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And she's like, it's getting to the point where she's working at night and all this stuff.
She's making shoes apparent.
She's really grinding as on her business. And so we were just going, there might be something here. You clearly have a market for this. And then we're also looking at other like items that we could create, journals, keepsake items, giftable types of goods. And we just went down a path in 2019 of going, we kind of stepped back and said, we don't want to just sell an item or two. Like, we just don't want to sell a couple items on Amazon or whatever it may be. What if we created a brand that kind of housed all these different types of items? And we formed the business in 2019, Duncan and Stone. We had 3 items we started with, and we launched in 2020 officially online. So our business is almost all online today.
Are you selling only from your own website, or do you sell on any other site?
We sell on Amazon.
Okay.
We sell on Etsy and our website.
Okay.
And those are the 3 primary channels. And early on, as a unknown brand, at the time, we made the decision, for better or worse, to launch on Amazon. And so we set up the business that way, registered the brand, launched on Amazon as kind of our first big channel. And Amazon is still our biggest revenue channel today. So it just keeps growing. It's just really growing. We've debated it. I mean, honestly, I'm just not
Eric's
sure.
gonna get very
the
sensitive
juice.
on this.
Hey, I'd love to talk about this. I'd love to talk about this.
Staunch advocate for Walmart.
Really? Are you really?
I am big time.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean,
Their business is yeah.
to be honest with you,
they're
it's
wedded
one of
to
those things that I'm like, we've had so many other things that we've been working on over the years that I'm kind of like, is it really worth it for me to go through the hassle of doing that? Maybe it is. I mean, I'm sure there's an argument to be made that it is, but we just haven't.
They're our local company in our little area.
I know. We love Walmart.
That's
Big
the
fans.
argument.
Big
Right there.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does take effort and time, right?
Yeah.
Attention.
Yeah.
Boy, it's kind of like when, how and when do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of Eric's businesses, was very instrumental in making Walmart.com viable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about
We can talk about that. Yeah,
We
for sure.
can get into that. So Amazon, Etsy, and your own site. And it's hard driving traffic to your own site, but it seems like you've got a great brand.
We've made.
You have, I mean, it's
Appreciate that.
It's amazing. You've only been in business since 2019.
Yeah. And I think that early on, the reason we started with Amazon is to say, hey, we wanted to reach as many people as we could initially, right? So like, let's get our name out there. Now, I wish that we would have been smart enough or had the know-how or partners to be like, let's build a direct-to-consumer business through your website first.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. We just didn't know what that was going to look like or how to do that the right way.
And
we make
more expensive too.
like customer acquisition cost and how to do all that.
Yeah,
but
it's hard.
over the last couple years in particular, we've really made a big shift to drive more traffic through our website, work on SEO type of things, email marketing, SMS. We've always done ads, so Google ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, but
I haven't figured that out myself, the formula on that.
yeah.
We've turned, you guys could probably teach me a lot.
Well, I have worked with a lot of people that know how to do it. I mean, so that was one thing that we really did early on was we looked at what our team was good at.
Yeah.
Things like Sarah being the creative director, the kind of brand voice, me being just a guy that would get stuff done on the business, set up stuff. There was the marketing side, customer acquisition, email marketing, Google ads.
Who does all that for you?
We have an agency that does it now. Yeah. So for a long time, a local company called Vanquish Media, Adam Fight is his name. Shout out Adam. He's a great guy. He helped us get all that stuff set up early on. We just shifted everything to an agency that does all our SEO, ads, and email marketing.
Okay.
So they did it all together.
But you're still working with Adam?
We don't work with Adam anymore.
Okay.
No. Yeah. We moved on from him, but he was super helpful for us.
So where's the business now? Like, how big are you guys? Where are you going with it?
Yeah, I mean, we did, in 2020, we did about $300,000 in revenue.
Okay.
2020. 2021, we about tripled and did not quite $1 million, but close to $1 million.
Yeah.
In 2022, we did a couple $1 million in sales in 2022. And last year, we did like 3.5.
God love you.
We did like 3.5 million. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic, man.
So at this point, it's amazing. Like the fact that our business keeps growing the way it does is just incredible with the small team of 4. And
that's great.
We ran the business out of our house for multiple years. And so we are so thankful for like where it's at. I mean, I think that there's a good chance we could hit $5 million this year in revenue. I think that's like kind of where we're headed.
Bro, it's wonderful.
I love it. That's fantastic.
So last year we sold like 120,000 orders or something last year.
Wow.
That's insane.
What's the ratio? So you said Amazon's
still.
Is that like at 60%?
Yep. 60% is Amazon, but 20% is Etsy and about 10% is our website. And then a little bit for wholesale. We have a wholesale business as well. Yeah. So we sell the stores.
Brick and mortar.
City Supply in Fayetteville, White's Mercantile in Nashville, places like that.
Right.
Cool stores.
The hip.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Can I ask, like, what's the legal form of organization? Did you set it up as a corporation?
It's an S corporation. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's when we were in 2019 when we were dreaming about this thing. My idea was, like, I was coming into this like, I'm interested in trying to start something. Like, my view was, I've been around great business owners, entrepreneurs, Ross Culley, Bill Weitzman, Dan Arnsberger, all these amazing men who are like starters and built these amazing businesses.
Right.
I was just always like, I kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
There's something in me that wants to do that.
Sure.
We
get it.
You guys, I'm speaking to the crowd.
We totally understand.
So when I was like, hey, we're going to sell prompted keepsake journals, I didn't even know what that meant. It wasn't like that meaningful for me at the time. Was like, I don't really care what it is necessarily.
Huge passion for that,
but I'm just want to see if we can create something. Like, what would that look like? And I was just always like intrigued by that. And so, when we started, I was like, let's just figure out how to start a business together.
Yeah.
And so back to your question, they were some of our best friends. And actually, when I got feedback from mentors of mine, they were all kind of like, I don't know if you should do that.
Right. Proceed with caution.
Do you know what I'm saying? Proceed with caution. And I was real hesitant about it, honestly, because what I didn't want to do was like ruin a friendship, deep friendship that we have just to start a business.
Right.
And so we spent a lot of time really like wrestling through what it looks like. What does ownership look like? What does roles look like? What is the vision of where we're going before we even had a product?
Good for you.
And just the feedback I got was like, set it up the right way.
Yeah.
Don't just willy-nilly.
Thank you.
Do something.
Have a good exit plan.
Get with the lawyer, set the bylaws, set the corporation up, all this stuff. And my team,
shareholder agreement.
shareholder, all this stuff. And I was like, I didn't know about any of that. And they were all like, this seems like a lot of work, like doing all this stuff. And it was kind of cumbersome, but I was like, we need to have this in place.
Yes.
Because in a few years, let's just say, it's like this thing blows up and now somebody's like, hey, I'm having some like tension here, So anyway, we set it up as an S corp.
Excellent.
Early on.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
We just talked about that last week, I guess, or week before last, where everybody they go to their attorneys, they go, well, you need an LLC, and they set up an LLC, and then they've got an LLC operating agreement that requires everyone to agree on everything with no buyback provisions, no valuation methodology, and it blows up damn near every single time. It's like, I think we were saying it's like lawyers or dentists giving away Mary Janes or something so they can rip your fillings out. I mean, it's just the worst possible thing you could do.
I think there's something to be said about setting it up the right way.
Obviously there is. I mean, and so it's worked out well. You guys are all still together.
We are. Yeah, we've had some obviously challenges along the way, for sure, relationally. I think that I was more so concerned about what our relationship was going to look like versus Stephanie and I. Like, our marriage we had done some things together. We work well together. Like, I wasn't that concerned about it. But I think that one of the things that we really struggled with the first few years was how overwhelming it could be. Like, we talked about business all the time.
Successful?
It was like, it can become, yeah, exactly. It's like, it can become overwhelming. Like, we're talking about it every time we're hanging out with them. It's like talking about the business. What do we got to do? And so we had to eventually draw just some more clear boundaries around. Let's talk about the business throughout the day. If there's a need to do something at night, we can, but let's just be friends at night. These are our business. My business partners are some of our best friends. Like, we literally are taking vacations with them and doing stuff like that. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's great if you can keep that intact and have a successful business.
Yeah,
I mean, it's funny in business, like, it's just nothing but problems. They're either good or bad. But don't expect it's not going to always be a problem. Because the business starts going down, you have that type of stress in your friendship. But if it grows, like Mark was saying,
that's a different stress, but it's a stress.
I'll tell you, so I was running the business when we started the business in 2020. We launched in February 2020, right as like the world was shutting down. It was a wild season.
That's exactly
our kids,
what it was.
Our kids were at home where we just launched. Well, we get to the end of that year, 1st of 2021, and I was so stressed. Like we're fulfilling orders out of our garage, and we're following up with customers after the holidays. We're like, all this stuff is going on. I have a full-time job, working for someone else. Right. And I walked into our kitchen one day, first of the year in 2021, and I was super stressed. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And Stephanie looked at me. She was like, "You need to quit your job," which I was not expecting that to happen at all. Yeah. I was like, "What are you talking about?" I just wanted to talk about the stress of it. I'm like, I'm not ready to do that. And she goes, "No, I'm looking at our numbers for the year. Like we had a great holiday. You know, we're continuing to see momentum on every day. We're getting more and more orders." She's like, "We can do this. You need to quit your job." Like she's thinking in her mind, my dream could be coming true of my husband can now work for our own business, and we can, build our life this way. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like we're not making money on the business.
Right. You can't give up your 6-figure.
Yeah. And I'm like, right? I have a great job. All this stuff. And I was like, Stephanie, we don't make any money. We don't make money.
Don't let that get in the way.
She's like, get in the way.
You should be spending 4 times what you make.
Exactly.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
Don't let that.
And so what's funny is, don't let that stop you. I was like, how are we going to live? We have 3 kids at the house. Like, what are we doing? And so anyway, I said, I'll take the rest of the day. I literally took the rest of the day off. Called a couple of my good friends, met with some people. We met as a team that night, as an ownership team. And basically I told them, either I have to completely stop working on this side hustle business or I'm like go all in on it. Like those are the options. And everyone basically unanimously said, we need you to do that. We need you to help do the business. No one else on our team was one to do that. And so I was like, sweet, I get to run the business now. Okay. Well, that set me on 2021 was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Oh, just the worst. Left my job in January to run in 21.
So let's talk real quick on that, that decision.
Yeah.
Like you met with your team, unanimous that you should come in and do that. How soon did you make that decision?
The next day.
So I'm going to point something out that I think is so important. Decisiveness.
Amen, brother.
Decisiveness.
And action. Decide and act.
It is actually, I've been kind of restudying a little bit just from different materials. It is the antidote and the killer to passivity.
Yes.
Passivity is what kills about every person and every business. And it's the bleeding plague of non-productivity and freaking all the nastiness of humanity. Decisiveness, though, I love that fact.
Yep.
So you don't have to do a gosh dang freaking market analysis to decide if you should quit or not quit.
Well, I know.
Either go shit or get off the pot. Go big or go
for it. That's
or
good.
Not. That's really good.
Yeah.
Get in or get out of my face.
Yeah. Exactly. It's
a big deal. I think that, I don't know. I mean, you'll probably look at that decision and that's probably why makes you a good CEO too.
Yeah.
Being decisive.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think that for me, it was a really simple equation because I said, I'm going to give this a year. Like it was risky in some ways, but we had already been selling product. We'd already been the business was going. Right. That's the reason we started it was like, hey, let's see if this could work and then let's go all in. And so I told Stephanie, I was like, let's take a year. Like if for whatever reason, it just doesn't grow like we think it should or could.
Then we go back.
Then I'll go back. I'll call some of my friends and get a job somewhere else.
Sure.
I mean, how hard is that?
That's another thing. Confidence. Decisiveness, confidence. I mean, those are big things, though. I think when we think about the people listening,
you're so true.
There's so many people out there that want what you wanted and your wife wanted.
Yep.
But they don't have the confidence or the decisiveness to make that call. And the reality is that when time came and duty called, you made a decision and stepped up, which is another thing. You went into uncharted territory for yourself, which requires confidence.
You know, Grant Longenbaugh, Janice, sent me a quote recently from Bezos that was something to the effect of, like, you'll never have enough information to make a decision.
No,
that's
okay. And if you had 40% of the information, you're lucky, you know. But if you make a bad decision, the whole key is you make a new decision quickly.
Yeah.
All right. But it's always cheaper than not making a decision.
That's right.
And not acting.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
It's so true because it's always cheaper than not.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the good quotes is like, the worst decision is not making one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
This is why, and again, I'm a big fan of formal education, okay? I got my MBA. I used every single bit of what I learned. However, that said, I do think that it encourages analysis paralysis to a certain extent. All right? Because you always think, well, I need more information. Everything's a data-driven decision. It's a big cliche, okay? You'll never have all the data.
That's right.
You won't.
You got to go on gut feeling. It's growing.
You do.
All right? We're going.
Let's do this.
Going and going. It's
Go
going.
for it. Yeah.
Well, but let me see. But if I project out our growth in a straight line, what will the bottom line be? And will that replace my full salary and all the benefits I get? No, it's not going to for a while. Okay? Probably.
Yeah. Well, what's funny?
You know, we got credit cards, honey.
We got credit cards and a card. All on general phone. Yes. We got credit cards.
We got credit cards.
That's it.
That's our time.
I've always called credit cards forward retirement. Right. It's, you know, I get it up front. It's my retirement up front.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Chase Visa.
Thank you. Take it. That's so funny.
But you did it. You survived it. Now it's going straight up.
But here's what's funny, though, is like when I left, and we mentioned this earlier, maybe before we started, was I had a couple of things happen, like in 2021. I was so wired around my schedule, the tasks, the goals, the corporate kind of environment that I came from. I spent a lot of time working with Walmart and Sam's, buyers and merchandising teams and stuff. And if you said if it says you're going to hit a certain date, you better hit the date.
Oh, you're dead.
You're not in the store.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So like there's
very
clear deadlines and you have to meet those things. Well, I'm coming into our business now as the CEO, head wrangler of Duncan and Stone. And I'm like, guys, what are we going to do? Like, we got to hit these deadlines. We got to do this. We got to do that. And Sarah and Stephanie were looking at me like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
You need to settle down. They're stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
Our youngest kids are still at the house. They're like, this is a true side business for me. Like, I don't have the time for you to be a psychopath with like the intensity you're bringing.
I can't wait till people hear this. Okay.
I mean, I was a maniac.
Right here.
I was a maniac because in my mind, I'm like, I just had this thing of, we got to get this done.
We got to grow.
We got to figure this out. We got to grow. We got to build this thing. We got to do this. Everything that I'm reading stuff about in e-commerce businesses, I don't know what to do. I'm not an expert, but I know what they're telling me to do. And so dang it, we got to do those things.
Yeah.
And my team is like, dude, you are freaking doing too much. And so we had a lot of conversations and I was super stressed. I'm like, we're not getting anything done. You know, my wheels were spinning. I'm now like a entrepreneur, quote unquote, whatever that means. And I don't know what the heck is going on. And it was the worst. It's like literally by the end of that year, I was like, being a business owner sounds amazing. Working for my business sucks. This is not sustainable for me because I was grinding. I was just doing everything. I was doing fulfillment. I was doing, you name it, it was coming through.
That's what you do when you're small, though.
Yeah, and I think I've heard you guys talk about that before on here. Is like, that was the life stage that we were in.
Right.
You know, the first year or two of our business.
Right.
It's like, you gotta figure it out.
Right.
The reality, though, for me was how much just relational damage that was causing within our team, within my friends, just within my own mental state of like, hey, this is overwhelming. I remember specifically leaving a meeting that we all had. It was toward the end of the year. And here's what was going on. We were celebrating the growth because we were growing. Like I said, we'd like tripled the second year or something in revenue. We were celebrating as a team. Our team was like, oh man, we're having a great year. Yay. And I was looking at this like, I've just busted my butt to get this growth. And I don't feel very excited about this. I'm like, so we did $900,000? Like, that's nothing.
Big deal.
Big deal. I'm like, you know what they're talking about? Yeah. I'm like, what? That's nothing. I'm like, what are we doing?
Coming from nothing, that's pretty damn impressive.
I know.
Yeah.
Sure. But I'm just thinking about another person on our team is like, well, let's start talking about what taxes we're going to pay this year and all these other things. I'm like, why are we talking about this? I've just killed myself for the year, and now I'm about to go pay a bunch of taxes. Like, what the heck? This business sucks. I don't want to do this.
Get past that.
It really, it began to, clearly there were significant issues and things we needed to change moving forward if we were going to scale Duncan and Stone. And it really helped clarify heading into 2022, like what we needed to do differently and how I needed to change kind of my perspective as well, through that. It was tough.
I think when you're talking about that, I can relate to that. And as you're a CEO, business owner, leading other people. So you got to have a team that's grateful about the work that they've done, which is a fantastic culture. Which is in my opinion, one of the most important thing of a company or an organization is to have a culture that is grateful, passionate about what they're doing, and they're growing, they're developing, but then you have this CEO that it's not good enough. But I think
that's true.
But I think there's like, what it seems like you learned was like there's this balance, there's this way to check yourself, because as in that leadership position, I know I've checked myself a million times. I've been wigging out in the way I'm thinking, but having the ability to stop and get objective and grateful and thankful for the people you got, the progress you made, resting in that.
Yeah, that's good.
Is so important.
Yeah, we had to have, it's so good. That's really good. And I think that I just had to step back and and just talk to our team very transparently to say, hey, when you celebrate, even publicly or with friends, like, hey, our business is tripled this year, yay. I hear that as like you're taking the credit for this thing that's been built, but I feel like I've basically been the one building that. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's rational, right? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, hey, I know that we've been, because take Sarah, for example, who's our creative director and the brains behind the brand. She's also going, I feel like I've been the one that's been grinding to build this business.
Sure.
Working at nights when I don't really want to work full time on the business, and now I do. So it was like just really sitting down as a team to say, hey, this is how I feel about this. I know this probably isn't accurate, but like I still feel this way. It's like, okay, thank you for sharing that. Like, let's talk about, let's get to the bottom of that and maybe make some adjustments.
Can I? Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, I think we both want to do something.
Can you? You can do it. Both of you can.
You go first, Eric.
So this means a lot to me because, like, my experience when we built White Spider up and we sold, people would come up and say, "How does it feel to sell your baby?" Right? As a founder of that company. I can legitimately say, like, it did not feel that way. Like, I had at some point early on, like probably the first 2 years, it was my baby, and I was just so driven by that.
Yeah.
But I came to a point where I had, like, by the time we had sold that company, it was so far away from being my identity. And it was literally, I believed in this brand and what this entity and this identity of this company was, which was encompassing everyone. Like,
It's an organization.
Yeah, it was an organization. Like it,
right?
And so there was no piece of me that went away with that, or that went along with that. It was like on the flip side of it, it was really. It's been really confusing to ever really feel like that I contributed. If you talk to my wife, like I have had a problem of recognizing that I was actually even valuable to the company.
Of course, you're the spark plug.
Yeah, but I cannot relate to that. Like mentally, like I had, I guess I had, what would you call it? I had humbled myself over and over and over and over again to such a level that I didn't even know what my contribution to the company was. Wow. Even while we were building it, growing it, and sold it.
I think that's weird. That's a big problem with a lot of companies that sell is the buyers don't really appreciate what the founder did.
Yeah.
Okay. My brother can talk a lot about that. He's been involved in buying 100 plus
what age is
companies, WPP Group.
WPP, that's right.
Yeah, he was the chairman of the healthcare and specialized communication companies for them. But anyway, and his buddy is, what are the two big ad agencies?
Publicis, Omnicom.
No, the one that they had, J. Walter Thompson, his friend, yes, the CEO of that. Yeah. He's always talking about, that. But anyway, I wanted to go back and ask you or make a comment. I think, what you pointed out was one reason why companies need to grow is because you're not going to be good at everything. You can't do everything. And if you commit to a growth vision, not only can everybody else get closer to what they do best, but you can. Yep. And you can start offloading some of the things that you don't like as much or aren't as good at.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really big deal that people need to understand. Sometimes I think a small business owner thinks, well, I can't grow because I'm doing all I can do right now. And if I grow, that makes it worse.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But in reality, it could go the other way. It could make it a lot better for you.
Sure. Yeah. Because you can, if you're smart about it, you can isolate yourself out of the things that you don't enjoy.
Exactly.
Like really just not good at.
A friend of mine who has been a mentor of mine as well over the years, his name's Mike Harvey. He's a guy that works at Harvest Group, one of the key leaders at Harvest here locally, and been there for a long time. Amazing man. And
don't know him.
Follow him on LinkedIn because he writes almost every day about some sort of, kind of life or business thing. Very, very insightful guy. I met with him recently, and he was like hearing some of the story of our business and just kind of my journey. And he said something that was really interesting. And he basically equated it to, you have been in the trenches and developed like the grit, like those first few years of building the business was you guys just developing real resiliency and grit and just the backbone of like this thing, like you were going to make it happen. And thankfully it's like we were working hard, but also there's luck involved. There's things that just, happen outside of our control for us to continue to grow. And what he was describing is most people don't see all that. Most people see the small 2-3% that you show on social media, or you're posting about, yay, like you grew and you keep doubling. Yay, business is awesome, but they don't see the grind.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, the overnight
which is really the
success
essence.
that happens over 30 years.
And it really struck with me because the point he was making was like most people don't push through that. There's this, it's hard to do that, to continue even when you're struggling the first year or two.
It's really interesting because Eric and I are owners in this motorcycle manufacturing business. And I mean, I'm involved with it on a daily basis. It's like a really big time commitment for me. But in any case, we talk a lot about failures in the industry. Several electric motorcycle makers have failed recently. They all have this one thing in common, though. It's like they blew through $77 million worth of capital, or 120. It's like, when you have too much capital, it's a bad thing because, you don't force yourself to have the discipline to do what you really need to do to build the system so the thing is actually going to work because you have no resources whatsoever.
Yep.
And if you can push through that, okay, then you set the stage to have a successful company later that actually functions as a business.
Yeah.
These other people just burn through cash. They never develop that discipline, and then it all blows out. It's like, it failed.
Of course.
It's the same thing that like a lot of the
it's not a blessing to have all that money.
Of very successful business people
they don't
do well.
It's true.
A lot of them, or if you win the freaking lottery and you blow through your money because you don't have the wisdom and the discipline.
Yes.
That's
so
good.
if you can push through that with no resources, like you're saying, and doing every job, and get yourself past that, you've set the stage with a platform that's good. Now the potential is far greater. I mean, because if you look at where you are right now, it's a $3.5 million business. You know what? It's not that hard to visualize. You could be a $35 million business.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And then what's that?
That'd be nice.
And then you might have a CMO and a CFO.
I'm gonna definitely need to be out of the business if we're gonna do that.
And then what's that company worth? Okay, and then what are your options?
Who knows? Yeah. Well, I think there's something about like, I love meeting with people locally, or they want to start something, or they're working on this side business or whatever. I love that. I love I love ideas. I love that early stage.
Right.
But what I tell them is I'll ask them questions about their life. Hey, what does your life look like? What do you like? What do you do at nights?
Right.
Are you watching shows? Mm-hmm. Are you just binging and chilling? Yeah. Well, if you are, then there's just no way you're going to put in the time and energy necessary to grow something if you're truly passionate about it.
Now, wait a minute. I can work from 6 till 9 p.m. and then I can turn on my
Then
shows.
you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I'm talking about.
Do both.
Yeah. That 9 to 11 is your only TV.
If you're already
and you eat dinner then too.
Yeah. If you're lucky.
Well, I think that And that's just it's different. Not everybody needs to go start a business. Not everybody needs to do it.
It's not right for everybody.
It's like it's not right for everybody.
The supportive spouse is a really big part of it. Parents who support you is a big part of it.
Yep.
I mean, I think you're right. There's a lot of factors, and you really need to understand, like, what kind of a life,
wiring,
how much are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing 100%. To get rid of your $70,000 Tesla and buy a $5,000 piece of crap car?
Yeah.
If you need to. I mean, you know what I mean? It's what it all comes down to. Like, how much are you willing to give it? Do you have the support system of some people that care about you?
Yeah.
That's
wisdom.
You're right, though, to start asking those questions.
Yeah.
That could be a lot of reason why, like all these startups that go out and raise capital, they don't have
they never make that
their
sacrifice.
Support system with just 100% financial support.
Yeah, they do,
or even mentor support of people that are the investors. Like that's kind of not what you really need as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. The one that's running stuff is always going to your investor group to only get advice there and support. Like because they hear if they sense your weakness.
Yeah, they're gonna have a different idea for your business.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
What do you mean you haven't been sleeping for 3 days?
You gotta be careful about asking them.
That sounds terrible, by the way.
Well, yeah, you're right, man. You're really right about that.
They'll smell that weakness. Like,
they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
That's why it's good not to bring them in until you're done.
Golly.
All right.
Well,
you avoid outside investors like the plague until you absolutely can't help it. Mm-hmm. And then if you do, you got to get people who are really going to actually be helpful to your business.
Yeah.
That's the key. Well, another time to get investors is if you knowingly are prepared to play that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you go in with it with the right mindset,
right,
you can be really successful as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what this money is, and this is my role with this, and that's what my duty is for this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, good outside investors can be very helpful, but you're right, because you do have a duty to them.
Absolutely.
And just because their money's entirely at risk doesn't mean you can be cavalier with it. Or feel like it's not your responsibility to make that a good investment for them.
Hell yeah, that's your job.
That is your job, and you owe them that.
If I give you $100,000, and I'm expecting you to make money for me, That's a high responsibility. And if you're going around like, oh, I don't have any risk in this, it ain't going to work well, man.
No, that's going to end ugly.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of them do.
I know. I can't understand that. It's not in my makeup. I feel the responsibility to perform.
Just like you do, right?
For sure.
Especially with your friends. Yeah. Your friends, you got your wife involved.
I mean, it's a lot of people. We have
your
family run business.
Family income now.
Yeah, it's 100%. It depends.
Yeah, you have no
stress. I don't want to stress. I don't know. You guys are stressing me out.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out now. Well, no, I think there's the reality of like of that is something we talk about as a team multiple times throughout the year. We sit down and we'll have a couple offsites to talk through vision. Where are we going the next year? Where are we like? Yeah, we usually go through a handful of specific questions every time just to make sure we're on the same page because. Yeah. And it's changed a little bit over the years for sure, but generally we are going in the same direction. But the point being, like, if someone on our team is like, let's have an exit, like, let's just sell this now. Well, we need to talk about that. We need to like, you want to do that? Like, what is that going to look like? And so, but what we found is, the way I think about it now is, we're trying to build an asset. Like, we're trying to build something that's
good. You're thinking like an entrepreneur now.
That's
not just what money you make from it.
Yeah, it's like, I want to build something that is a desirable, sustainable thing. Yeah. If somebody wants to buy us, and like, that would be awesome one day. But at the same time, we're also like finally like enjoying running a business.
Right. You're just
and so I'm like, I don't want to get rid of
this
too
thing. Early.
This is amazing.
Yeah, way too early.
You're in a good position.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I think really wise in comparison. Definitely.
Yes, I think so.
I mean, to have goal settings, vision discussions, like
listen,
make sure they're all in alignment. Wow.
This is when I was, first one, I'd be like, I don't give a shit what you think, Mark. This is the right way to do it. And you would have been like, I hate you.
I hate you. What are you talking about? Well, listen,
we got along. Other than the fact that Eric wants black and chrome on everything, there's really
chrome.
There's no other disagreement. Black highlights, though. You used to use that in your graphic design.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little fling.
That's the only thing because she's younger, He's a product of the 90s.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's grunge, that's Pearl Jam, freaking Rage Against the Machine,
I can see that. I can see
Nirvana.
What?
I love that.
That's what I grew up in. That's the best music time in the world.
Oh, man. That's the best.
I mean, who else? I'm forgetting somebody.
I'm sure.
Soundgarden.
Yeah. Alice in Chains.
What?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's my favorite band.
Alice in Chains is the best.
Dude, have you... Alice in Chains came to the AMP a couple of years ago.
I didn't go.
Yeah. That's amazing. Of course, Lane's not around.
Yeah.
Right? I went there with zero expectation. I was like, my boy Lane's gone. I'm just going to go because it's change. What's the guitar player's name? I can't remember his name. Yeah. Anyway, I knew he was still doing it.
Anyway, a foreign language. I don't even know what song Alice in Chains did.
Well, because
you young guys carry on.
I got into that show, and dude, it was freaking fantastic.
Was it?
They played Sludge Factory. I mean,
Mark's like, amazing.
Sludge Factory. That's like in South Fayetteville, where we have the sewage treatment plant. No, I don't know. I don't know what that is. You guys are too much.
Yeah.
What's that?
Garrett, I want to, let's look, because we're probably getting close
we're running out of time. So show
listen, we sell all sorts of stuff. Okay. When we started the business, we sold, this is one of our early items. This is like a childhood keepsake book. So it's called Dear Son. It's a...
Can I see one?
Yeah, you can look around. Yeah. Look around at them. This is a newer item. It's like a baby's first year. So our brand is really built on bringing families together, capturing memories, all of that sort of thing. So
you've sort of organized this where people can put
that one that you're looking at, Mark, is like a birth to 18 years old childhood keepsake.
Nice.
This one is a baby's first year book.
You and I have got to talk. It's a fantastic idea.
Okay, sweet. I love it.
We're gonna make Zillions.
So yes.
Jillian.
But here's the deal. When we launched, we kept getting more. This is one of our most popular items. That's a legacy journal right there. That's like a family keepsake, family or life story keepsake book. So What we found was like customers were giving us all sorts of great feedback. Like, I really want, like, can you guys do one for our engagement, for our anniversaries, all this stuff.
They're giving you all the ideas.
The customers were just giving us feedback.
Yeah, sure.
And so now, and
sounds like a good business.
Yeah.
Customer feedback.
Yeah, look at this
product.
Yeah.
Problem answer.
I say that's worth $1 million. I mean, $100 billion.
And so now what started is like, what's funny, man, is like I have some of my good friends.
Nice products.
Some of my friends are like, are you still selling like baby books and stuff like that? I'm like, yes, we do sell. We do. Yeah, I do sell a lot of baby books, but we sell all sorts of stuff now. We have reading journals, we have travel journals, we have recipe books, all sorts of.
Well, they're beautiful.
Items. Thank you.
Enduring.
I can take literally zero credit for the way all this looks. Our team is amazing. Like Sarah and Stephanie.
It's very tasteful.
The way that they built all of our products were like, we want something that's timeless.
It is. I mean,
very well done, quality, something that you would want to sit out and people look at.
And also, like,
it's very
here's
nice.
the cool thing, like for the bait, for all of it, you look at it and it's identifiable as that capsule.
Yeah.
Like exactly. You're a kid, you see that laying out, and then you grow up, you move out of your house, and you come out, there's all
be like the one thing that you'd actually want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because all the rest of it is meaningless.
Our design team is phenomenal.
It is meaningless.
It is, though. I mean,
everything is meaningless.
This is like the one thing I'm gonna rush.
Solomon
my house
about
is on
that.
fire.
Solomon talked about
I'm gonna grab this.
You better keep your Duncan and Stone.
Okay, I'm giving my Duncan and Stone book. The rest of it, I don't care about.
And I'll run through fire.
Let it burn.
I will risk my life.
I need that sort of feedback on our
That's
website.
what it is.
You're gonna take. We're gonna give you a clip of this, and you're gonna say, "I would risk my life for a Duncan and Stone memory book."
Yes.
I will run through fire and floods.
Let's go.
Yeah. I don't need my mom's 30-year. Hey, I don't need my mom's 30-year-old couch. I don't need her bad, upright, walnut piano. Or
you're gonna want to remember what your kids were doing when they were.
But I do want this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
My phone, all the photos I took from them got lost.
That's the best.
They have the cloud back then. Okay.
That's the best, brand, video we could ever do. Is what you just said. What you just said. Thank you for that.
Yeah, we only require $55 to sponsor the show.
Hey, talk sponsorship.
47.5% ownership.
So funny.
And a 7% royalty.
Oh, I feel like
it's like Shark Tank. I know. That's the way these guys are.
Are you Mr. Wonderful?
No, not at all. I'm not.
You should be.
I do like that guy, though, actually, even though
you would be.
That Kevin, even though people give him a hard time, he really,
Mark Cuban.
He makes a lot of sense.
Mark is like, I tell you what, I'm not ready to give you equity or to give you percentage to get equity, but I will make you a forever lifetime loyalty
I know.
of 2.5%.
Yes, exactly.
It's insane.
It's like, where did you get that valuation number? That's my favorite one.
Funny.
Where did you get that?
Where did you come up with that valuation? Yeah, I know.
It's like, how did you
suck? But however, I will.
This is worth $49 million. Yeah.
Well, it's been great having you here, Garrett. We could talk all day.
Yeah, we could.
Because it's really been fun, and you seem like a really solid guy. And you got a great company, and again, this is exactly the kind of company and person we like to have on the show here.
Absolutely, man. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you, guys. I love what you're putting out there.
You laid out today that you can do it, and maybe you shouldn't do it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Some really good points, man. And congrats on your success.
Thank you, man.
Growth.
Appreciate it.
Leave listeners with that are thinking about starting.
If I could leave you with one thing, it's just try it. Just try it if you're thinking about it. I mean, I love hearing stories of people that said, you know what, I'm going to see if this works. Let's try something. And if it fails, it fails. That doesn't define you. It could be something, though. Like when we started our business, we had no idea in 4 or 5 years we'd be selling hundreds of thousands of orders.
Yeah.
That wasn't on our radar, but we had the gumption to go, let's try something and see if there is a possibility of something here. With wisdom, you know, I didn't quit my job day one when we had this idea.
Exactly.
I was like, hey, let's see if this could work.
You saw if you got some traction.
And then go from there. So,
hey,
I think that you said it earlier of like the decisiveness. You know, if you have something you want to pursue and you feel strongly about it, make a decision to do something.
Do it. Yeah.
Go do it. So
I just thought of a new product. My startup journal.
Oh, listen.
My startup
journal.
Now,
don't you think that would be good?
It would
that
be
would
good
be
if
really
I
good.
spend the time that I actually wrote it.
Well,
like texting. You guys know talking on my
that's true. Yeah.
Founder journal.
But no, I mean,
startup
that's
journal.
fantastic.
That could be cool.
Well, because you put coals in there.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Another idea.
We expect a full.
We could do a partnership. We could do a co-branded.
Well, we could sponsor Big Talk About Small Business, and then people who sign up for the get a discount on your startup journal.
Royalties.
And then we get 12.5%.
Oh my goodness.
12.5% of every sale. No, all right. Thanks, guys. And Garrett, it's been great having you here. And unfortunately, we're out of time. And so we will see you all next week. Until then, this has been another episode of
Big Talk About Small Business.
And look up Duncan and Stone. Give it a search. Check them out on the line and buy their products.
Please do.
Good stuff.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Big Talk About Small Business. If you have any questions or ideas for upcoming shows, be sure to head over to our website, www.bigtalkaboutsmallbusiness.com, and click on the Ask the Host button for the chance to have your questions answered on the show. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn at Big Talk About Small Business. And be sure to head over to our website to read articles, browse episodes, and ask questions about upcoming shows.